time for leaving. Buffalo stands on no time for grieving. Stepped on the field, the ground was shaking. Josh with the rocket, defense breaking. Allen dropping dimes, that's art in motion. Waves in the crowd, a human ocean. Teams thinking they have a chance, bitch please. Pressure in the pocket, they drop to their knees. Fourth quarter grit, we want that ball. Clock hits 0, the 7-1-6 standing tall.
Welcome back to another edition of Official Word Sports. This is the rapid reaction from today's AFC Divisional playoff game. I got nothing to say. I have nothing to say. There's no excuse. No excuse. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to say. I got nothing. I have absolutely nothing to say. I have big words to say. We try to keep this a family show or show for everybody. I have nothing to say. I want that entire coaching staff. I want Brandon Beane gone. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. This is going to be a short show because I have nothing to say, and I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize to everybody that is tuning in. I'm sorry. Because I would love to be able to give good feedback, commentary, whether it be good or bad. I'd love to be able to share some insights. I am completely numb. Granted, I thought that Brandon Cooks had the ball and his knee was down, and thus, I don't care what happened after that. That should have been a catch down by contact. But that one play did not define this game. Did not. We got outcoached. I mean, think about it. Cam Lewis goes out of the game. Savage comes in. They go right after Savage. Trey goes out. Dane Jackson comes in. They go right after Dane Jackson. 2 touchdowns. The difference in this game, despite all the turnovers, the difference in this game was the end of the first half. Think about it. You win 30-27. It's the difference in this game. What were you thinking? I have nothing. I am so numb right now. We as Bills fans, if there's anything of a protest, we need to be at One Bills Drive protesting the fact that Sean McDermott still has a job, or Brandon Beane still has a job, or Joe Brady still has a job, or Bobby BABICH still has a job. We need to be protesting. Terry needs to wake up. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. I don't care if Oliver didn't play the whole game. There's no excuse. I'm numb. I'm completely numb. I almost feel like writing a letter to Terry and saying, you owe me the last 20 weeks of my life. There's no way we should have lost the division. There's no way we lose to this team. Yes, they have a good defense, but if you look at the game plan early, you just stick with it. Nothing. This hurts. It hurts. If you guys remember the 17-year playoff drought, that's all this is just a continuation. What do they say? Putting lipstick on a pig. That's all this is. Because we can't get out of our own way. Just numb. And I'm tired of this crap. I'm absolutely tired of it. When is it our turn? And I don't want to hear about jinx, and I don't want to hear about any of that crap. When is it our turn? And we can't get out of our own way. You have the best quarterback maybe in the history of the game, and you can't get out of your own way. We were supposed to be saving Bosa all season long to get him ready for the playoffs. What did he do? The guy that I talk about all the time as far as being useless, number 57, he did more than Bosa. Explain that. You're absolutely right there. Absolutely right. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to say. What do we do? I mean, thank God the Sabres are playing well. Hey, Derek, hey, brother, that's what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be therapy, right? Where we all just get together and we just, hi, my name is Vince. Hi, Vince. I'm a lifelong suffering Buffalo Bills fan. I remember back in the day when we played San Diego and Fergie lost his shoe and threw the interception. I remember when Ronnie Harmon dropped the ball in the corner of the end zone. I remember when Bruce Smith got called for the phantom face mask. Or when Derek Burrows got thrown out of the game. I remember Norwood missing the kick. I remember Thurman losing his helmet. I remember being blown out in Pasadena by the Cowboys. I remember the fumble to start the second half against the Cowboys. And Emmett just running time after time, gashing us. I remember the forward pass that should not have counted. I remember Josh's lateral against Houston. I remember 13 seconds. I remember going up against the Bengals and not doing anything. I remember the Kincaid drop or whatever you want to call it. I remember the first down that wasn't called a first down. Now I can add to it. I remember McDermott and Brady calling a play with, what, 12 seconds to go in the first half? Josh fumbling, them kicking a field goal, 3 points. Game was tied 30-30. Take the 3 points off, 30-27. I remember Brandon Cooks catching a ball, knee on the ground, DB then grabbing the ball and rolling over. That should have been a catch, down by contact. That's what this is. This is therapy. And we all sit around in the circle, and we all have our memories. Yeah, there were some good memories, but these are painful. These are painful. So, as I started, what do you got, Derek? Sadly, no changes coming. Next year's process 10. Yep, you're correct. Meanwhile, I have no cap room. Correct. While the Pats are, yep, you are correct, sir. Keep venting, my friend. Keep venting. This is a safe space. This is a safe space. Just numb. You guys are numb out there. And y'all should be. Just what do we do? What do we do? Are we going to be that team that is just mired in just being the bridesmaid? I mean, hell, we're not even the bridesmaid this year. You look at all these teams. I don't even live in the 716 anymore, but my heart is still there. But the city I come to, they bought a Super Bowl. I have to listen to them talking about how they bought this Super Bowl, but they got it done. Then they came back and got another one. Talking about the Buccaneers. Their fans are nowhere near close to what we are. They haven't suffered as much, even though they did go winless, but still, they have not suffered as much as we have. There's not one fan base that is more deserving of a championship than the fans in Western New York, Bills fans. There's not one. And we get extorted every single year. We're sold a bill of goods. We buy the hats, we buy the shirts, we buy the jerseys, we buy the tickets. We make it an event, an occasion. You go out there, you tailgate. We have redefined what tailgating is, but the play on the field hasn't redefined anything. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Listening to McDermott talk about, well, we got to watch the film. Enough of that. Other teams need to watch our film, but we don't do the right thing. Your coaching, in-game coaching, sucks. Period. The only thing I can say, it sucks. You suck as a coach. You're a good defensive coordinator. Kudos. But you need to be man enough, just like Tomlin, and step down and get out. You know where the door is. Get out. Brandon Beane wants to come in and laud that. He does all this and all that, just like Derek said. Let's look at Derek's last post. Meanwhile, we have no cap room. That's right. You guys remember when Brandon Beane came in and he was talking about how Doug Whaley left the team with no cap room? Well, what did you do? You gutted the team. That's fine. It was time for a makeover. You had some cap room, and now you've completely used all the cap room. And now when it's time to go either make a trade or sign a free agent, we can't. We couldn't throw anything at Myles Garrett. Or Khalil Mack. That would have been nice to bring Khalil Mack back. Hometown guy. That would have been nice. Derek says being a Bills fan is like being a groom on your wedding night. They're the bride. The bride says, why don't you go shower and freshen up? And when you get back, I'll be ready for you. Then you get back, find her passed out, fast asleep. Yeah. The good thing with that though, Derek, she may be past asleep or past she may be sleeping, but at least you were able to put the ring on it. There's no such thing as rings in Buffalo. I thought you were going to finish that one. When you came back, she was gone. So there we are, left again. I love doing this. I love doing this. I love connecting with everybody that's out there. Derek, in a way, what you said, this is my therapy. Right? That's why we have the rapid reaction, because sometimes you just have to be around like-minded people and be able to share your frustrations, share your comments. Know that somebody else out there is in as much pain as you are. So I like doing this. I like talking sports. I love it when my guy Stevie D is on, even though he likes another team. We're like-minded individuals, and we're able to go back and forth and talk about different things. Good camaraderie. That's my brother right there. So when we do the show, we have fun doing it because we're talking sports and we're talking with you guys out there. But the fandom, it's not going to go away. Just stuck. I'm stuck. Stuck in the mud. Can't get out. Can't get out. I'm not going to say Peyton won this game. Maybe I may. But I will say, if you go back into the archives of OW Sports, there was a period of time when this guy said, get rid of McDermott and go get Sean Payton. No, he may not be the greatest coach, but he's far better than what we have on the other side. You have a team led by Bo Nix, who stayed clean the entire game. Think about that. Stayed clean the entire game. Their offensive line is not better than ours. Their running backs aren't better than ours. Their tight ends aren't better than ours. And really, their receivers, even though our receivers are garbage, their receivers aren't better than ours. But they made plays when they needed to. They took advantage of situations, talked about how two guys go out of the game. Each play resulted in a touchdown. Got nothing. I got nothing. I had surgery yesterday, and if I hadn't had surgery, boy, I'd be banging on this table, maybe throwing some stuff. But then what's it all about, right? If I break something, Terry's not going to come and reimburse me. Say, oh, Vince, I know how frustrated you are, and I know how, I've been asleep at the wheel and let things spiral out of control, and, we need to make a change, and, for that, and I appreciate all that you do. I'm going to reimburse you for that. He's not going to do that. So why? Why? I'm not going to be a meme that's out there. I'm not going to be one of those clickbaits to watch me destroy something in my house. I'm not going to do that. Just going to sit here with you guys. And I mean, if we want to be quiet, open a beer, maybe do something a little harder, maybe some Jack, maybe some scotch. Maybe that's what we do. I got nothing. I got nothing. I would love to say there's something. What is it? What is it? What is it that has been this anchor around our neck? I mean, think about it. And now I'm going to Wayback Machine. And for some of you, this is, well, even for me, honestly, this isn't the true Wayback Machine, but you think about it. We had the 2 championships back in the 60s, had a chance for a third. And if we would have won that third AFC, we would have been the first representative in the new Super Bowl. We would have been a Super Bowl one. Probably a good thing because we would have had to play the Packers. So probably a good thing. But since then, there's nothing for us. Derek, I want to give grace in a way because, as you said, when Savage went in for Cam and Dane for Trey, they immediately took advantage. But in spite of that, we had our chances. It still should have won. You are correct, sir. You are correct. We still should have won. We still should have won. We were outcoached, but we were the better team. We were the better team. Hey, Craig. And that's the crazy thing, Derek, when you think about it. Thanks, Craig. I appreciate it. It's very somber here. Shit, it's very somber. Hey, Laura. Yes. You go beyond the anger. As I said early on, I'm numb. But to go back to what Derek was saying, yeah, those are 14 points. Those are 2 plays, and we still had our chances. But we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. We did. I don't want to go down that hole. I really don't. Oh man. But you just think about all the things. Like, hey, the fumble on Cook early on, yeah, that was costly and that hurt, sure. But sometimes you have to tip your cap to the other side. That tackle was as textbook and picture perfect as it could be. I have no problem with that fumble. None whatsoever. The one I have a big issue with is the Josh fumble at the end of the first half. We should not have put Josh in that situation. I was telling Stevie D, if you're going to do anything, you throw back shoulder short, you throw it about 20, 30 yards downfield, and you hope for a PI. Because they were basically playing, what, 7 back? So there was no chance that you were going to be able to, especially with our wide receiving crew, you were not going to be able to go for 80 yards for a touchdown. That just wasn't going to happen. But if you get a PI, next thing you know, it's only 10 yards and you might be in range for an extra field goal. But outside of that, I would have just taken the knee and gone in, called it a day. Yeah, they got a touchdown on you and they're up 7. No big deal. No big deal. But those 3 points, instead of 30-30, could have been 30-27. Yeah. I agree. They were going to make that field goal regardless, but Laura, that's just frustration. That's the same frustration that you're feeling, and that Derek's feeling, and that the rest of the Bills fans out there are feeling. I get it. I'm glad it didn't happen earlier, and then we can look back at it and say it cost us. But at that point, position on the field. I mean, I guess if we're looking from a role model perspective, um, I guess so. I'm going to disagree. I am. It did make it closer, but I mean, how much more closer could you get? The fact of the matter is that that PI that they had on us put them in field goal range. They were all set. So I I can't put that. I can't agree with you on that one. I can't put that on Trey. Yeah, you want your guys to have their heads about them, but at that point in the game, the distance where they were, they weren't missing that field goal. Not going to happen. Again, if we want to put any blame on anybody, it needs to go to those guys standing on the sideline or the guy standing that's sitting in the booth with the headsets on. They called a horrible game. How many times are you going to run the hook and ladder? It's kind of funny because, again, I was talking to Stevie D. We were talking maybe about a week ago, and we were talking about the hook and ladder. And, it's funny. The play works, and it's a good play, but you only use it when you're desperate. It's not a play you run on first down. Midway through the first quarter, run a hook and ladder. You don't do that. You run it when you're desperate, late in the game, and when you're down. But we seem to become very proficient in the play because we're always down. We're always desperate. So I got nothing. I'm numb. I don't know. I'm not jumping off the bandwagon. I'm not turning in my card. It's not going to happen. I just wish that Terry would listen to us, listen to the fans. Let's not be so enamored with the fact that a 17-year drought, this may be the biggest thing. When I say this may be the biggest thing. And follow me here. There's so many fans because we had a 17-year drought that their ceiling was just making the playoffs. If your ceiling is just making the playoffs, then you're happy with just being mediocre. When you are somebody or you are a team or an organization that strives to be the best, your ceiling is not getting to the playoffs. Your ceiling is being a champion. Your ceiling is raising the trophy. Getting to the playoffs is just another step in that quest for your goal. So when you look at our coaching staff, when you look at our front office, and you look at what they have done over the years, and you write the pros and you write the cons, just making it to the playoff should not be a pro. I'm going to tell you that right now. It should not be in the pro column. 31 of 32 teams fail to reach their objective every year. And that 31st team that fails should be going back to the drawing board to figure out what it took to overcome that other team so that they could be at the pinnacle. That's what it's all about. And then once you get to the top, you get greedy because you want it more and more and more. And you're always trying to figure out a way how to stay on top. But when you're happy and you're satisfied just getting to the playoffs, then a game like today is, oh, well, it was a good season. No, it was not. It was not. We failed to reach and meet our objective. We failed. Please understand that. You can take solace in the fact that Josh had a good year and Josh set some records and that Cook was the rushing champion. You can take solace in that. Those are some good footnotes. But at the end of the day, if you were to talk about the 2025 season, it was a failure. 2024 season, a failure. 23, 22, 21, 20, failure, failure, failure. Promising, but still failures. And really, you go 67, 68, 69, 70, 80, 90, 91, 92, 93. Failure, failure, failure. Promising, but still failures. And as we look at this one, failure. And I see June says, don't fire McDermott. No, do not fire McDermott. And I could appreciate, June, that you like what McDermott has done. And McDermott has done some really good things. He really has. But you also have to take a step back and say, are you the one to be able to take us to the top? How many more opportunities will we give Sean McDermott to lead this team, to lead a team led by Josh Allen, a generational player? We had Kelly. Love Kelly. I think we love Kelly for his moxie and for his heart. Plus, he was the quarterback of the teams that took us to the Super Bowl. We loved him for that. But you put Kelly and Josh side by side, Josh just dwarfs Kelly. Think about that. And we are lucky enough to have him on our team as our quarterback. And I'm willing to bet you there are 31 other teams, including one in Kansas City, that would love to have Josh as our quarterback. They would love to have him as our quarterback. We're that lucky to have that guy. And each year that we fail to hoist the Lombardi Trophy is another year that we fail with Josh Allen. There's just, it's unreal. It's unreal. Hey, Joey, I see Joey's in here. Joe Rowe, yes, yes. You have to start with Brady. Derek, what do you have in here? Next year, 10. I propose a name change for the coach. Well, he's well on his way. He is well on his way. And you know, for Sean, again, conversations I have with Stevie D, when we talk about McDermott, as far as his career goes, he may need a fresh start as well, similar to like an Andy Reid, right? Get a fresh start, be able to take a step back, look at all that good that happened here in Buffalo and how he can improve. But right now, when he patrols those sidelines, he can't get out of his own way. And sometimes it's the shock to realize that you've been removed and replaced for you to actually self-reflect. Bean needs to go. I'm tired of listening to the Brandon Beane apologists and all the kudos for Brandon Beane, because really Brandon Beane hasn't done anything for the Buffalo Bills. He's put us in a bad situation. So we're stuck. We're absolutely stuck. And I don't know how to get out of it. And they don't know how to get out of it, let alone, I mean, I know what my steps would be to get out of it. And the funny thing is, we talk about changing coaches, and you know, Derek, I'll be honest with you. You know, you bring this up, and as I said, fire McDermott. I agree. I'm all for that. Fire BEANE. I think it's easier to replace a Brandon BEANE than it is to replace a Sean McDermott, because now at this point, who are you going to get? What coach with the experience that we need and the ability to be able to handle this roster and the ability to be able to make those decisions in clutch time? What coach is sitting out there? Who's out there that we could take? And I am not recommending firing Sean McDermott without having a plan. I'm not trying to get the hot the hot new coordinator. I am not trying to do that. I'm not trying to get some college coach to come in here. Maybe there is one college coach. That's almost like selling your soul. But maybe there is one college coach down in Chapel Hill. But outside of that, I'm not willing to give up what we have to go get that. But then again, what do they say? The definition is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And right now, that's all we're doing over and over and over and over again. Divisional round, divisional round, divisional round, divisional round, expecting a different result. And we're not getting it. All right. I thank everybody for tuning in. Again, this is safe space. This is a safe space. Even if we don't always agree on different points and different things, this is a safe space because we all bleed red, white, and blue. We're all Bills fans. And so by us all being Bills fans, we all are in pain right now. We're numb. We're angry. We can run those stages of grief. It's kind of funny. It seems like ever since we started this podcast, at the end of the year, I have to go through the stages of grief, right? 5 to 7 stages of grief. And I talk about it on the show all the time. I'm in this phase, I'm in that phase. It's a little different now because it happens so often that, I just go to numb. I'm not angry, just numb. I'll start blaming probably later on tonight, tomorrow. Start putting some blame out there. Okay. Every Wednesday, tune in every Wednesday. YouTube, Facebook. Check us out for OW Sports Podcast. Stevie D will be with me and we'll, break it down for you. Unfortunately, we'll have to break down the championship round without the Bills. We'll have to break down the Super Bowl or the exhibition game, like I call it, without the Bills. And then we start to head to the off season. And I will tell you, as we get to the off season, you're going to see some changes to our format and to our show, but we're still here and we'll still be rock and rolling. And I appreciate all of you guys. I really do. And I want to make sure that you all are recognized and for being the Bills fans that you are. And we're going to come back. The show is going to stay thriving and strong. I hope all of us are thriving and strong. And I guess it's off to what the next is, the combine and then rookie minicamp after the draft. So we'll see what we do. Big decisions need to be made. I think we'll have a show dedicated on the start of the off season. I may need to go get my guy Rob, because he's kind of the capologist out there, cover 2 podcasts. Get Rob to come on, and we could talk about some of the numbers, because we got to make some moves. I hear you, Joey. I hear you. So, all right, but yeah, every Wednesday, YouTube, Facebook, check us out. Make sure you give us a like, a subscribe. I wish this was done under different circumstances. I wish there was some champagne being popped, maybe some smiles, and kind of figuring out what tomorrow would bring, where we would go for next week for the championship. Unfortunately, we know what tomorrow really is bringing, or Monday brings. Locker room clean out, get to listen to the nonsense from McDermott and BEANE for the end of the year press conference. They're going to talk about all the injuries that we had. I can already tell you guys, so that you don't have to waste your time listening to that, because it's almost like a recording that they just play. Very disappointed how the season ended. Thought we really had a strong chance. We have a great group of men that are in that locker room who really tried. We had a lot of injuries from the very beginning, and we were able to overcome some of those injuries, but we just didn't meet our goals. And so, even up into our last game, a lot of injuries that were out there with whether it be Ed Oliver, the way he came back, even injuries in the game where, Trey had to come out for a couple plays, or where Cam Lewis had to come out. But, you look at, Max Hairston, he was out for part of the game, or, part of the season. You look at Jordan Poyer, he's been out. They could just go on and on and on about the injuries, and that's going to be their excuse. And that's what they're going to sell to Terry Pegula as their excuse. Nobody, and I wish somebody, I know Sal won't do it, I know others won't do it, but somebody needs to bring in a mirror and hold up a mirror and say, take accountability. Look in the mirror and take accountability. That would be great. If they would ever, and we'd lose our credentials, but if they would ever give us credentials, sure enough, hey, Coach McDermott, take a look in this mirror. Take accountability. Brandon Beane, look in that mirror. Take accountability. Because you have millions and millions of Bills fans that are out there starving for a championship, that are with you year in and year out. Joey just said 45 years. All right. As I said, that's going to wrap it up. Certainly do appreciate everybody coming, and check us out every Wednesday, 8 p.m. YouTube, Facebook, 8 p.m. Eastern, YouTube, Facebook. And we'll talk to you soon.